Welcome to Crossroad Connection. We're speaking out for those left unheard. My name is David Schuring. I'm the president of Crossroad Bible Institute and the host of your program. We have in the studio today with us some special guests, good friends of mine, Andy and Karen Ribbons, who are the owners and operators of Premier Finishing in Walker, Michigan. And we had you on the program before about the fact that you readily, purposely hire returning citizens or ex-offenders into your business, and we had a good talk about that. And I wanted to continue the conversation because you not only are hiring and training people who are formerly incarcerated, and you're working with a reentry ministry 70 times 7, and we talk about how important that is, but you're also doing something in the Brooks Correctional Facility in Muskegon. Some kind of peace and power and prayer ministry or something?
Correct.
Can you tell us about that?
Correct. We have been, Ridgepoint Church, the church we attend, has been doing services there. We did an Easter service there, and we had both been involved through another organization, One Day with God. So we had a familiarization with Brooks, and then 40 Days of Peace, which is the Power of Peace organization. Kit Cummins is the founder. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia. He comes up here, and he did this last summer. Came up here and spent 2 days with 75 guys of men of influence at the prison. I think there's 1,200 people at Brooks, 1,200 inmates, and he spent time with 75 of them. What we do as volunteers is we will follow up with them for the next 6 weeks.
This is after the event?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So what they did, they signed a pledge for 7 principles of peace. Do you remember what some of them were? I will
treat others with the respect with which I wish to be treated. If I'm wrong, I'll promptly admit it and make amends.
I will not lie, cheat, or steal. And these guys sign this pledge that for 40 days they will adhere to these principles.
And how do those 75 get into it? They have to volunteer for it?
Well, they were brought into it, but they voluntarily signed it. 75 out of 75 guys did sign the pledge. I think the prison identified these people as men of influence. They're the guys people listen to at the prison.
Yeah.
But they voluntarily did sign this pledge. We as volunteers spent the next 6 weeks with them, meeting with them once a week and going over a workbook and just coming alongside them on their journey.
How long does that last?
6 weeks for the
6 weeks.
40 days.
Yeah.
With the thought that 40 days you can change a...
They say 30 days you can make a habit or break a habit.
Correct. Yep. These guys need 10 more days, I guess.
10 days for good measure.
That's right. That's right. The results of that first group was a 50% drop in violence at the prison at Brooks.
So it was a measurable difference with this program.
Definitely.
And what's the name of the program again?
It's thepowerofpeace.org.
Thepowerofpeace.org.
Correct. Yeah. And they have a power of 40 days of peace, and now they're doing a 40 days of power, and then the follow-up to that would be a 40 days of prayer.
Wow.
It's open to all faiths. Go ahead.
It's open to any men of any faith. Volunteers are not, we all make it very clear why we're there, but it's not really designed to push or press. It's designed to give people an opportunity to understand where their foundation is, and
it's not for proselytizing purposes.
Not at all.
And you don't have to be a confessing Christian to participate or to be a volunteer.
Correct.
But so what they're doing is what we would call more working on a common grace level.
Correct.
Principles that probably all religions would agree. You shouldn't steal, you shouldn't lie. Principles that are kind of well known for success.
Yeah. They use quotes from Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, just really trying to help the residents set their foundation and understand why they do what they do. And one of the first weeks we were in the first meetings, one of the men said to me, we were talking about respect, and he said, I always looked at respect as fear. So in order to get respect here, people needed to fear me. And he said, it's really not about that at all. And I said, no, because, you say you respect Andy or you respect, one of the other volunteers. You're not afraid of them at all, but you respect their integrity and their honesty. And so it's those kind of foundational things they've never discussed before.
Yeah, exactly. Just to go back to that multi-faith thing, there may be viewers that say, oh, you're going to have to compromise your faith in that situation. Have you found that to be true?
We can still be the hands and feet of Jesus, and all we need to do is love on these guys. When the question does come up, we share our faith with them.
Right.
And there are definitely Christians in there too. There's the Toomey group, the Urban Youth Ministry Institute. There's 20 guys there through a prison fellowship that are a part of this group also. So
I'm sure there's CBI students in the group
I'm
too.
sure there is.
You betcha. In fact,
Yeah.
I know there is.
Yeah. In fact, we do know there is. We know who one of them is. Another thing that interestingly happened is Ridgepoint during the middle of this program had a church service there. And my small group, I'll call them of guys, 12 guys, I said, hey, we're going to do a church service here on such and such a day. And there were a lot of guys who were like, oh, yeah, we always go to the church services. And another, one of the gentlemen said to me, I don't do church. And I said, that's fine. No, that's okay. And he went.
He went to the church service
He went to the
after
church
all?
service. Yep, he went to the church service, got a call out, and now December 23, we're doing another church service, and he actually is trying, he has a work duty at the time we're doing the church service, and he's trying to get it all worked out so he can go again. So you don't have
Isn't
to
that great?
overtly...
Right. In fact, perhaps a hard sell would be off-putting
Very much.
Very much.
to them.
Yes.
They don't like authority. It's funny.
No, that's some issues there, huh?
Yeah.
Right. How has your involvement with people in prison with that program helped you with your work with the people outside of prison? Have you come to understand them better, or have you? I don't know. I mean, how does that feed off each other?
It's been amazing, some of the revelations that I've had. In fact, I talk with the guys who I work with about this program, and they're like, "Wow, that would be awesome." I mean, about this 40 days of peace.
Okay.
And now,
Okay. They're like, but boy, I wish I would have had that when I was in there.
Definitely, I wish I would have had that, but. It is interesting to connect those dots. I mean, it helps me understand
what they came from.
Yeah, understand the guys that I work with, what they went through, and these guys have shared. They're very transparent, and we're obviously very. It's a very close knit community. Karen's small group, these guys that are in her group. I mean, she's like their mother or sister, and we've developed some great relationships, as I'm sure a lot of your people have too with Crossroads.
Yeah, you bet. You guys are on demand as speakers and so forth. You make presentations, am I correct, in churches and so forth?
We haven't done churches yet.
Where
We've just sat for interviews. We have done and
Leadership Holland.
Leadership Holland. We've spoken 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
So people more will consult with you and
I had an interview in the New York Times.
Really?
They're on the front page there.
front page of the New York Times.
Yeah.
Front page of the business section. Yes, he was.
Nobody
Yeah.
saw it.
No, but let's just say what would you tell a church about helping returning citizens besides make sure you're connected with a reentry ministry?
I guess the one thing I would like to say that I always say at Leadership Holland, even if you couldn't look at it from a church perspective, let's say you couldn't, we have set amounts of time people serve for crimes and what their penalties are going to be, and then we say, and then you'll be released. And then they get released and they don't have an opportunity to re-enter into society. They don't have an opportunity to get a job. They don't have an opportunity to find a place to live because nobody wants to rent to them or hire them, or we don't want those people in our church. And we have set those standards for the penalties for their crimes. And if we're setting those standards, we have a responsibility, whether it be citizens or in my case, because I'm a Christian and because I want to be the hands and feet of Jesus, to welcome them back into our communities and to give them an opportunity to be successful. I mean, if we don't give them an opportunity, they're going to go back. It doesn't make sense to not honor what we said their penalty was.
And we're not saying these guys shouldn't have done the time they did. I mean, some of these guys did some very bad things, and they deserve to serve that time. But when they get out, they also get the opportunity, we think, to live normal lives again.
I think what I hear you saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're continuing to punish them.
Correct.
Is what's going on.
Yes.
Okay, there's a sentence that the judge said, this sentence will pay for your crime, but then they get out and they're still paying. They can't get hired. They have, right. And
In some cases for the rest of their life.
We need to be, it is for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
We need to be welcoming and say forgiven, and give them a fresh start. Give them a chance.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why we want to start in prison, to give them the opportunity to make life change and to think about things differently and to make decisions differently. And then when they get out, if they can have a job where they learn more about personal responsibility and making decisions and have people trust them again, they have the opportunity to start over.
Are you making some connections for future employees there?
Brian from 70 times 7 and I have talked.
I mean at Brooks.
For future employers?
Future employees.
If they go through 70 times 7, that would be an opportunity.
Yeah, all right.
We have to watch.
That's not the reason that you're doing it. You just decided you wanted to get deeper into prison ministry.
No, we're not recruiting. We're just trying to give people an opportunity.
Yeah, right. What's the name of the organization? Peace and Power?
The Power of Peace Project.
Is that something that our viewers can get involved in?
Powerofpeace.org. Yes, we are, for the 6-week follow-up, we are looking for people to be volunteers, to sit in with these small groups. Brooks is one facility, but we're talking about 75 guys from level 2. There's also 75 guys from the level 4 unit there. And then there's Michigan Correctional Facility, and then there's Michigan West Shoreline. So of those 3 prisons, and we just got done with the second round. It's actually going on this week right now. Brooks was Monday and Tuesday, but there's over 500 inmates that are going through this right now, just in Muskegon. And they're going to need volunteers to sit down with them.
So this is for people in West Michigan.
Correct.
Does this program only exist in West Michigan?
All over the world.
All over the world, all over the country.
Yeah, country,
all
world.
Over the world.
All over the world.
I'm actually going with Kit to Ukraine in
Okay,
April.
so probably even our satellite campuses out there can know about this. And our viewers from any place in the country, they can go to the website,
Correct.
They can find a local expression of this and get involved in this very fine, structured program.
Powerofpeace.org.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yes.
Well, this has been very, very exciting. I don't think we've ever had on the program business folks who are actually taking on people that were in prison, and to do it with such success and with such enthusiasm. It really does my heart good. It provides us, too, with ways to, we have instructors who are writing the letters and encourage and say, hey, there's help out there.
Right.
And we learned some very, very good lessons that we work with reentry ministries, people in the know, that we take a positive view of people in prison rather than that negative view, to give them another chance to say, hey, the sentence is complete, and now we need to do that. Now, this is my last thing. I think we have, well, guess what? We ran out of time.
Okay.
You're going to have to come back again someday. And because I think we can talk for a long, long time.
That'd be wonderful.
Andy and Karen, thank you so much for being with us, and God bless you in your much very important work that you're doing.
Bless you for what you do too.
Yeah,
thank you
very
for
much.
having us.
You bet.
And thank you for watching, and we hope that we'll see you again right here next week.